Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Is there any requests you have? Nope. Sweet. Let's get started. Let's start in a standing position. Good morning. All right, let's start in a standing position today. So plant those feet about hip distance apart. Pull the palms up to the sky. Maybe take those shoulders up to the ears and roll them back. Closing the eyes. Maybe engage the core, drawing that belly button up and in. Sending the energy all the way up through the spine and out the crown of the head. Taking a few breaths in and out through the nose. Take a step up to the top of your mat if you're not already there. And I want you to inhale your arms up over your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, gaze out long, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands and step your feet back. Exhale, chaturanga down, elbows in towards the body. Inhaling to an up dog. Exhale, down dog. Think about lifting your hips to the sky. Long, flat back here. Connect to that breath. Maybe scanning over how your body's feeling today. We're gonna inhale, lifting that right leg up to the sky. Maybe take some circles with that ankle. Lengthening tall. Bring it through to a high lunge or warrior one. Inhaling our arms up. Exhaling, plant the arms down. Step the foot back. Take a vinyasa at your own pace. Being in a downward dog, connecting your movement to your breath. Think about lengthening in that downward dog once again, sending that tailbone to the sky. Totally fine to have bent knees right now. We want that long, flat back. Inhale, lift that left leg to the sky, maybe taking some circles with that ankle here. Finding some length. And then draw it through. Inhale, lifting the arms up, warrior one or high lunge on this left side. Exhale, plant the hands, step the foot back. Exhale, chaturanga down. Inhaling to an up dog. Exhale, take it back to downward dog. Take a couple breaths. Maybe bending the knees, hovering them an inch above the ground. In this bear position, keeping that core engaged. then dropping the knees fully. Drop that belly down, taking the chin up. And then round through the back, drawing the chin in towards the body. Exhale, drop the belly down. Inhale, round to the back. You might keep this position going, or you might venture off, listening intuitively to your body. Maybe taking some big hip swivels if that feels good. Eventually coming back to stillness, walk those arms out to a puppy pose, keeping the hips lifted. Your gaze might be forward or planting that forehead on the mat, whatever feels good. Giving those shoulders a nice stretch. And then coming forward to a Sphinx position. Plant those forearms down. Take the shoulders up and back. Maybe dropping the chin for a few head rolls, loosening up the neck. Just being really gentle with yourself. Still filling our lungs with oxygen. Eventually lowering all the way down. Take your arms out to a T, lifting that left leg up and over. Giving that right shoulder a nice stretch. Let that left hip hang heavy here. And just breathe, filling your lungs. And taking it back to center. Open out to the left side now, taking that arm out, right leg up and over. Giving the left shoulder a good stretch now, letting the right hip hang heavy. Once again, filling our lungs with air, letting the oxygen swirl throughout our body. Take it back to center, planting those hands. Make your way to a child's pose. Knees wide spread, arms extended forward. You can plant that forehead on the mat if that feels good, melting the chest down. Without judgment, you might scan over your body again and how it's feeling. Taking a few big inhales and exhales. Eventually going to tuck your toes, sending your hips back to a downward dog. Really lengthening here. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze to the top of your mat. And either step or jump to the top, coming to a forward fold. Inhale, gaze out long, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up over the head, coming up with a flat back. Exhale, arms out to the side, Samastiti. Inhale, gaze those arms up over the head. Bring those arms up over the head. Grabbing that left wrist, we're gonna shift to the side, gazing up underneath that left tricep. Inhaling, lift back up. Grabbing the right wrist now, shifting over, gazing up underneath that right tricep now. Inhaling, lifting. You can interlace your arms behind your back if that feels good. Lifting through the chest. You might even take a forward fold, keeping those knees pretty bent here. Letting the arms flop over behind our back if that feels good. Sometimes my arms are pretty tight. Eventually planting those hands down on the mat. Inhale, gaze out long. Exhale, plant the hands and step or jump back. Take a vinyasa at your own pace. Once again, meeting in a downward dog, connecting your movement to your breath. Find some stillness here in this downward dog position. Really centering on your breath. Letting it flow freely. On your next exhale, bend your knees and step or jump to the top, coming to a seated position. We're gonna roll all the way to our backs, bringing our knees into our chest. We might rock side to side a little bit. Maybe bringing them all the way to happy baby if that feels good. We're gonna extend through that left leg now, hugging the right knee in towards our chest. And then planting that right hand, take the left or the right knee across the body towards the left side. Gentle spinal twist here. Keep that right shoulder attached to the floor. And just breathe here. Inhale and take it back to center. Hugging that knee into the chest, you might bring the left one up. Maybe taking a couple rocks side to side. Eventually, letting that right leg hang long, hugging the left knee into the chest, and then pulling it across the body. Keeping that left shoulder attached. Let that oxygen flow freely. Take it back to center. Bring both those knees into the chest. Take it out to happy baby. You might even bring the soles of the feet together if that feels good. Eventually, we're gonna plant the feet, the heels pretty close to our hips, about hip distance apart. We're gonna plant our hands as well, come into a bridge position. So heels pretty close to our hips. And we're gonna inhale, lifting our hips up, keeping our knees pretty hip distance apart. Trying to inhale, lifting our hips even further. Lifting a little taller. And then bring it down. You might windshield wiper your knees side to side if that feels good, or take a happy baby. Once again, coming back to this position, plant those hands down. Inhaling, lift the hips. Send that energy down to the floor, strong, lifting up to the hips. Exhale, bring it down. Once again, doing any counter pose, like child's pose. Or taking those knees side to side if that feels good. Option to take one more round of bridge or take it into full wheel if that's in your practice today. Coming back to that stillness, plant those heels. If full wheel is in your practice, plant those hands by your ears. And you're gonna inhale and lift, bringing your chest through. Take a few moments here. Coming down whenever it feels good for you. Taking any counter pose needed. If you're still up, make your way back down. We're gonna take that right leg now and prop it over the left knee, coming to a reclined pigeon here, grabbing underneath the left hamstring, pulling that leg in, giving the right hip a good stretch. Continually breathing here. You might even let your exhales begin to be longer than your inhales. We're going to plant that left foot, keeping the right leg in this figure four position. Drop that left or that right foot to the ground, planting it, letting the right knee then straight up to the ceiling, in this twisted supine position. Take a few breaths here. Eventually coming back to center. Take that leg down, reversing it. Take the left leg up and over in that figure four position, reaching underneath the right hamstring for this reclined pigeon. Pulling that leg up, however much you like. Let the body fill with oxygen. When you're ready, you can plant that right foot down, shifting the left foot over, planting it in this twisted position, letting that left knee shoot towards the sky. Keep those shoulders attached to the ground. Should be feeling that stretch in your left hip. Eventually make your way back to center. Taking your legs both out. If you need to do anything else to prepare for your final pose, feel free. In this final pose, you might adjust to make anything comfortable. And just let your body relax fully. You might imagine yourself floating on water if that feels good. Eventually coming to stillness in Shavasana. start to become aware of your body. Maybe you're listening to the sounds within the room or outside the room. You might take bigger inhales and exhales as you begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And make other small movements. Feel free to roll to your favorite side, cradling your head with your arm. Eventually coming to a seated position. Bringing your hands to heart center. Nice job today, guys. Namaste. Awesome job.